Hi, welcome to my channel. Today I want to discuss with you how to do a kitchen renovation fast and easy. So I have a kitchen behind me. It's a U-shaped kitchen that has been built about 30 years ago. So the home owners want to have a new look to it. So the first thing you have to determine is that do you want to keep the existing layout or not? Because one of the ideas, for example, for this kitchen is that you could have taken this wall down and greatly expand the footprint of the kitchen. But that means that you will have to go get a permit. That means you have to go get an architect, do the drawing, and then you have to get the city approval, relay of the electrical and plumbing. So that is a much bigger job. Or if you want to just doing something quick, right? The quickest way is definitely keep the existing layout, but trying to get more functionality for it. Okay, and that is what this homeowner decided to do. So now, before you get started, the first thing you want to determine is that to measure the height. Okay, why the height of the kitchen? Most people don't think about that much, but this is very important, especially for an older home. Because notice that we actually have a soffit here to house a light box. So that would definitely the kind before that they want to have recessed lighting. So if you actually measure it, the height of the ceiling, of the drop ceiling, is only like 7.5. So that will actually determine what kind of kitchen cabinet you can choose. So you have to choose something that is only 7 feet. That limits the amount of the cabinet you can choose and cabinet space you can have. Or you can talk to your contractor, and if you can determine that, all they need to do is to just go look up and then find out actually you can take out the soffit and then you take it all the way back into the 8 feet. Now you can choose some kitchen cabinet that is like a 93 or 94 inches. You can utilize much more of the upper cabinet space now. So that is very important. So after the height, now you want to determine is like the dimension of the rest of the kitchen. How wide and how deep. This is a 12 feet by 15 feet kitchen. Okay? That's one. The second is that now you want to measure all of the existing kitchen cabinet very carefully. And also you see that there is a window like facing the sink. You also want to know all the dimension. With all these now laid out into a diagram, now you can just use pen and paper, draw something very roughly like what I have here. You can see that that's one side is for the wall cabinet, the other side is for the base cabinet. Once you have that, right, now you can think about which part of the cabinet you want to do some changes to that. So let me walk you through of the major areas that the homeowner wants to improve.
There are a few changes the homeowners would like to do. The first is to get rid of the double wall ovens. They simply don't bake that much. Instead, they would like to integrate the oven into the cooktop into a slide-in professional grade cooking range, and that will give them a lot more space to cook more at the same time. And the second is to put Lazy Susan in both of the corners to give them more storage. And lastly, the most important is to raise the ceiling. That will give a lot more areas and then height to the kitchen.
So after we determine which part of the kitchen that they would like to improve, then of course the next step is to determine what kind of kitchen cabinet. If you want to have a lot of specific function, very fancy, very custom, of course you will need a custom kitchen cabinet. Not only they're more expensive, they also take longer. The standard lead time is about 6 to 8 weeks. So for this homeowners, they want something to be done fast and quickly. So what they choose is that they want to do some in-stock cabinet. Lowe's, Home Depot, and many local kitchen cabinet shops, they do have a line that with an in-stock cabinet. Usually the standard style will be like the white shaker. And good, that is also happen what the homeowner wants as well. So we choose a line that have a off-white shaker style kitchen cabinet on that. But that doesn't mean they have to sacrifice on the function, because that for even though they in stock, they to come with like many different kind of wall and base cabinet with also accessory that they can choose from. The only difference, right, is that you can usually not can get down to the last inch. So usually they come into the standard size here. Like for example, right, for the wall cabinet, they usually come into like 21 wide, 24 inches wide, then 27 and so forth, right? Come in increments of 3 inches. So if you are like have non-standard sizes that you need to meet, sometimes you cannot fully utilize it, and then you will add in some fillers. So that is usually the typical trade-off between the standard in-stock cabinet versus the custom. Voila! This is the kitchen after 10 working days. You see that the most dramatic changes is that the kitchen feels much bigger now. Even though it's the same size, pretty much the same layout as before, but overall it's moved so much bigger. The main reason is because of the ceiling. Before, it has an old style and has a soffit, which drops the height of the ceiling to be only 7.5. Now we raise it back to 8 feet, and also you see the light box that we push the recessed light up to higher by another 6 inches. That gives a lot more spaciousness to the kitchen overall. Another reason is the use of the white cabinet and then also the white countertop. In general, like, right, we see it and give you like a much more fresher looking and also more airiness. And also another one is that we give the homeowner a little bit more counter space now. You see where the drawers that used to be a wall oven, and that take up spaces. So instead of like having a wall oven, we put the oven back into the range now, and that is one add into like giving more working spaces back into the shelf. So another two things that like really help with the function of the kitchen. The first one is of course like the commercial range here. So we choose a 6 burner commercial grade range here. A lot of people that they love to have a commercial grade range, but they're like concerned on the price. Actually, there are a lot more choices on the market now. Like this one, honestly, is not that much more expensive than a regular slide-in range. So that's something that you should definitely look into when you consider a kitchen remodeling. And other thing that, of course, is like the backsplash. So we choose a glass mosaic in the kind of a light blue, seafoam blue for the homeowner that also help like modernize the overall feel of the kitchen. So this is like 10 days. You see that most of the things are done. We're just missing a few of the finishing touches. But overall, I would say that like 11 days, that's all you need to do a kitchen end to end. After 10 days, the kitchen is mostly done. All it needs is one more day to do the final finishing touches. So you may ask, how can we get the kitchen done so quickly? I actually have 3 tips for you. The first one is that make sure that your contractor is readily available to do the job every day in the time frame that you agreed on. Not only that, make sure that you communicate with him every day what is the scope of the work to be complete for that day. You start for every morning to talk to him that, okay, today we'll do the demo, tomorrow we'll do the frame and paint, then day 3 and day 4 to do the cabinet, day 5 the countertop, day 6 for the backsplash, and so forth. You have to set your agenda, okay, and make sure that like they show up. If they don't show up, call them. Okay? The last thing you want is to end up just waiting at home, like in a half-done kitchen and no one working on that. The second thing is that make sure all of your major component, the cabinet, the range, are all in stock, ordered, and ready to be picked up. Especially if you are picking like a custom kitchen cabinet, the lead time may be long, but it's okay. You can just budget ahead and give buffer. Maybe you take 8 weeks, don't cut it that close. Order even maybe 3 months ahead, so that it's better for the kitchen cabinet to wait in the warehouse waiting to be picked up than you worry about it and have a day-to-day delay waiting for your cabinet to show up. Same for the stove, same for the countertop, the backsplash, and so forth. If you can pick something that's in stock, do it. But if you want something that is on special order, order ahead of time. Then the third thing is also be ready to go and buy and all of the small components and then get them as readily available in the house for your contractor to use. I'm talking about cabinet handles, like recessed light, or even down to the switches. Don't make your contractor make a trip to Home Depot. Buy all those things ahead of time and then set aside in the house so that they will save time and then they can grab whatever that they need right there. Or even if you are missing something, make sure that you are readily available to make a trip to the Home Depot in a moment's notice. That will save you a lot of time and then save your contractor a lot of time. Okay? So I hope that you learned something from my video. And if you like this one, please subscribe to my future videos that I have more home modeling project and tips for you. And if you have any questions or comments for me, please answer below. I always want to talk to you guys and then discuss my other experience on my home renovation. Thank you for your time. Next time.